YouTube! What is going on, y'all? It's your boy Young Texas and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. A few days ago here on the channel, I made a video discussing how Microsoft might have to go to court to secure their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. This was of course in direct response to the revelation that the Federal Trade Commission would be suing Microsoft in order to block said acquisition. During that video, I also discussed platform exclusivity, or rather the current lack thereof, even talking about how back in the day, Call of Duty was available on Nintendo consoles. One of the big players in the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard is Phil Spencer, the current head of Xbox. On his Twitter account yesterday, Spencer stated that even after the acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft, players on PC would still be able to purchase Call of Duty through Steam simultaneously with Xbox. First things first, this tweet makes it seem as though after the acquisition is finalized, Battle.net will no longer be an option for players looking to purchase Call of Duty on PC. Rather, Steam will hold the exclusivity on PC for Call of Duty. This is of course directly contrasting recent years where Battle.net held that exclusivity up until this year with Modern Warfare 2 when it was available on Steam again. But now it looks like the roles have been reversed and Steam is going to be holding that exclusivity. Even more interestingly, nowhere in the tweet is PlayStation mentioned, and that makes it seem as though and makes people question whether Call of Duty will even be available on PlayStation after that acquisition is finalized. This is less shocking than it may seem because Sony has been one of the biggest contenders in the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and that also makes sense because for PlayStation, Call of Duty is one of their biggest cash cows, and of course they don't want it owned by their direct competition, Microsoft. Of course, that theory is simply hypothetical because at this time, there has been no information regarding Call of Duty not being available on PlayStation. However, all of that information is supplemental to the reason that you probably clicked on this video and also the point that I talked about earlier that made me think I could see into the future. There was another tweet by Phil Spencer actually posted before the tweet that I just told you about, that tweet actually being in response to this big tweet that I'm about to tell you about. It was confirmed by Phil Spencer that Microsoft has entered into a 10-year deal with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty back to Nintendo consoles. That's right, Call of Duty is coming back to Nintendo. At this time, there is no news on when this will start, as in when Call of Duty will first be available on Nintendo consoles, but if I had to guess, it would be to coincide with Treyarch's premier Call of Duty release in 2024. However, something that is also quite possible is that it will be available on Nintendo consoles starting with Modern Warfare 2's Year 2 content next year in 2023, which we already know is being developed by Sledgehammer Games. However, what is also possible and very likely is that Warzone 2 will be the very first Call of Duty title available on Nintendo consoles, and this makes a ton of sense because it will be a game that's still in progress and still being played and still kind of like a mainline Call of Duty title at the time, and it's the one that they can do right now. Of course, it won't happen right now because the acquisition hasn't been finalized yet, but it does make sense that they're probably going to start preparing Warzone 2 to be available on Nintendo consoles already, even before the deal is finalized. Now, why exactly would Microsoft make Call of Duty, which is sure to be one of the best and top selling titles under their company, available on Nintendo consoles? Well, the first thing that jumps out is if that Call of Duty is no longer available on PlayStation, at least making it available on Nintendo consoles will retain at least a fraction of the current player base. Of course, it won't be the same players, but as far as player base numbers goes, at least a fraction of that will be retained. Of course, if they're going to be losing Call of Duty and all the players on one console, it makes sense that they're going to want to make it available on another console, namely the Nintendo Switch. The fact that Call of Duty will be available on Nintendo consoles is amazing news for the Call of Duty community. Due to the fact that it's highly unlikely Call of Duty won't be available on PlayStation, all that means is that Call of Duty also being available on Nintendo means that the player base is about to skyrocket and hit astronomical numbers. Just think, you're going to have all the players from PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and now Nintendo Switch all playing the same title. And the best thing, it's going to be cross-platform, meaning that players can play together no matter if they're on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch. That's gonna be crazy. Imagine you walk into a lobby, you see a party, they got a PC player, an Xbox player, a PlayStation player, and then a Nintendo Switch player. As a content creator, this is also incredibly exciting, and not just because I think it'll be easier to get gameplays on players using the Nintendo Switch. Sorry, Nintendo users. With more people being exposed to Call of Duty and diving into and investing themselves into the franchise, that also means that more people are going to want to watch Call of Duty content. Without a doubt, people are going to watch content on the games that they enjoy and the games that they themselves play. So of course, if more people are playing Call of Duty, more people are going to be watching Call of Duty. At this time, there are no further details regarding the Nintendo deal, but two things that I'm very sure of is that not only was this deal very lucrative, but more details about this deal will be made available in the very near future. Just to wrap things up, Call of Duty is coming back to Nintendo, and this can only spell great things for one of the best-selling and most successful video game franchises of all time. But yeah, guys, that is effectively going to wrap up today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop a like and comment on it down below. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to turn on those notifications so you never miss any of my daily uploads. For even more from me, be sure to check out the links in the description below to connect with me on all of my social media so you never miss any of my content. Also, for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, intel, and so much more, be sure to use the links in the description below to connect with IPC on all of our social medias as well as our website. But other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and that's been it. Peace.